morning, good afternoon, good evening. Mnangagwa is set to extend his rule, his stay in power beyond 2028. He has come up with all manner of ways of achieving that goal. Initially, he was talking of changing the country's constitution, which clearly says that that anyone can serve a maximum of 2 5-year terms as president of Zimbabwe. He has served the 2 terms, and this second term ends in 2028. And yet, within a few weeks of the 2023 elections, he was already campaigning of how to extend his rule beyond 2028. He was speaking, trying to reassure the nation that he will not extend his rule beyond 2028.
Akataura kuti ini I'm a constitutionalist. Kambozvo? Zvinoreva kuti ndotevedza mutemo neumbiriro mutemo ndinotevedza chaizvo. Zvakarezve ndino umwe wakarinyora. Saka ava mutavo makuwana vamuchiti da shefu vangazowedzera makore avo handiti. Ndine ndima yangu yandakapiwa vanhu veziva kana yapera kuchaya muzvitara ndima dzavo. Auziwa? Yes. So this person of having a term does not arise, especially under my watch now. I'm in my second term and I already know the dictatorship and pachigaro nditwana 2028 so kana kuna mwana kufunda vafundire kuti bodo azvisizo zvinofungwa nababa.
He tried to assure the nation that he was not going to extend his stay in power beyond 2028. And yet, at his party conference in Bulawayo, this was all changed again. The party came up with an endorsement that Mnangagwa should stay till 2030. And now he has come up with ways of fulfilling that without changing the constitution. It looks like the route he has decided to take is where elections, harmonized elections, are going to be postponed from 2028 to 2030. The argument is the people want him to stay so that he could finish the various development projects that he has undertaken. Let's be very clear. The Constitution of Zimbabwe says the mandate for anyone to govern the country is derived from the people by winning the majority vote in free, fair, and credible elections. And that mandate, in this case, is a fixed period of 5 years. At the end of the 5 years, a fresh mandate must be sought by holding fresh, free, fair, and credible elections. That is not negotiable. This very idea of Parliament, him and Parliament sitting down and agreeing that let's postpone the elections, is an outrage. He is crossing the double red lines here. President and Parliament and Senate do not have the right to usurp the people's power to elect and remove whoever they want from office. Postponing the elections from 2028 is just another way of Parliament and the President deciding that they have the right to decide who governs the country and not the people. That cannot be accepted. That we must not tolerate. That we must resist. It turns out that Mnangagwa has been arranging this, and the opposition, such as it is, has agreed. Over the weekend, Mnangagwa held a special endeavor at his farm in Kwekwe, attended by the opposition leaders, including one Sengesu Savangu, who speak on the occasion endorsing the idea that if the people want Mnangagwa to stay beyond his 2028, they are in agreement with that. It is not, I repeat, it is not for Mnangagwa and the Parliament to postpone the elections, to usurp the people's right to decide who governs the country. The truth of the matter is, Mnangagwa is actually illegitimate. The 2023 elections were not free, fair, and credible, and he knows it. Those elections were not free, fair, and credible. SADC, the regional body, AU, the continental body, selection observer teams condemned those elections as being failing to meet the requirements for free, fair, and credible elections. In other ways, Mnangagwa and this regime are illegitimate. And he is on public record dismissing all those who condemned the election process as flawed. Here he is speaking on that very issue.
Zanu PF kana ndonyanyisa kufara zvakanaka ukavona vavengi vakwashi kurumbidzwa nekuchikanganisa ukavona vachiti Zanu PF yakaipa farai because you are doing correct things for your country. Homu takaita maelections edu kuna vamwe vaitaura zvisina musoro zvikanzi maelection arafamba zvakanaka ndezvavo.
Well, we can't carry on as a nation where those in positions of power and authority continue to ride roughshod over the ordinary people. By rigging the elections, Zanu PF is denying the people the fundamental right to a meaningful say in the governance of the country. But what Mnangagwa is now proposing to do is going one step further and deny the people even having that formality of participating in the elections. This cannot be accepted. Like I said, Mnangagwa is now crossing the double red line. He is opening a Pandora's box. Because if the president and parliament can usurp the people's right to a meaningful say in the governance of the country to the extent of postponing elections, in this case here, postponing the elections by another 2 years, what is there to stop them postponing them for 5 years, 10 years, or indeed cancelling elections altogether? This is an area where the people of Zimbabwe must stand up and make it abundantly clear that this is a red line, which if Mnangagwa decides to cross, he must know that the people of Zimbabwe will resist it with everything they've got. This cannot be allowed to happen. And Mnangagwa must not be allowed to get away with it. This could be a decoy, of course. This is a regime that is renowned for coming up with totally outrageous proposals, push them hard, and then at the last minute abandon them and make it appear as if they are willing to listen to the people and to compromise. The number one issue that the country should be focused on right now is making sure that 2028 elections are free, fair, and credible. Whether Mnangagwa is the Zanu PF candidate or it's somebody else, 2028 elections must be free, fair, and credible, so that the people's power to be the one who give whoever government is coming the mandate to rule is fully restored. Mnangagwa may be pushing this issue of postponing the elections to draw attention away from the fact that if reforms are not implemented before 2028, Zanu PF will rig those elections again. I think we should keep our eyes on what he's doing insofar as trying to postpone the elections, but also keep our eyes on the ball of implementing reforms to ensure elections are free, fair, and credible. If no reforms are implemented, we have got a plan B. The plan B should be that people of Zimbabwe should stop participating in these flawed elections to give Zanu PF legitimacy. People should be aware that this issue that Zanu PF is now pushing of postponing the elections may be a decoy, so that the last minute the regime will say, okay, fine, we'll compromise, we have heard you, we'll go ahead with the elections. And then we are caught off guard. Elections are held without any meaningful reforms implemented. The Zanu PF is therefore then once again able to get away with another rigged elections. Food for thought. Thank you very much for those of you who were able to listen. And I hope you'll be able to join us again tomorrow, 6 o'clock UK time, 8 o'clock Zimbabwean time. Good night.